If you're like me and you watch WWE Survivor Series, then I'm sure you're also asking yourself the all-important question, why does WWE hate John Cena? At Survivor Series, we saw John Cena, the reigning defending WWE Intercontinental Champion, defend his belt against Dominic Mysterio in a rematch of a match they had a couple of weeks ago on Monday Night Raw, where Cena ended up winning the belt and becoming the Ultimate Grand Slam champion in WWE. And the idea of them doing a rematch just a couple of weeks later for that belt makes sense. You have John Cena, a veteran, going up against Dominic Mysterio, a guy that I'm sure WWE is going to be investing a lot of time in, a lot of resources in, and you would want that time and that investment to go rewarded. And what better way to reward it than having Dominic Mysterio potentially win his belt back from John Cena? That could be a very compelling story for Cena as well, him going out and going into his last match not knowing whether or not he has already had his final win. And that would have been interesting. That could have been a great way to hook people going into Saturday night's main event in a couple of weeks in Washington, D.C. However, the way that WWE did it reinforces one of the biggest narratives about this entire John Cena retirement run that we all have been thinking about, and that is that WWE or Triple H seems to just hate John Cena. And if you don't believe me, look at the last year of John Cena's career. You had the Royal Rumble, a match that John Cena had stated he wanted to win, a chance for WWE to have John Cena go out, main event WrestleMania, and guarantee that, had that be prime time booking going into the show, yet they decided against that. And in a vacuum, that's no big deal. You obviously have Elimination Chamber, where Cena would go on to have arguably the biggest moment of his entire retirement so far, him turning heel after winning a title shot at WrestleMania against Cody Rhodes. And from that point on, if you watched the next couple of months of TV, you will have seen the worst heel turn and the worst bit of storytelling of John Cena's entire career. There is nothing that compares to how bad the John Cena heel turn was. There is nothing that compares to how stupid and disingenuous John Cena's promos were. There is nothing that compares to the way that WWE and the chief content officer Triple H chose to push John Cena as he was a geek. He was a geek. His matches sucked. His matches were booked to suck, and it felt like WWE had no real plan for it. That is why they all but abandoned it the night before SummerSlam and just had John Cena go out there and have his big match John match that he did with Cody Rhodes, and it was a fantastic one. And that seemed to me to be a case of WWE righting a wrong, and we were going to get maybe another great couple of months of John Cena, except they instead had Brock Lesnar return, F5 him, and then unceremoniously job him out to Lesnar in just a couple of minutes, with John Cena getting little to no offense in their final match at WrestlePalooza the following month. Another situation where John Cena looked to be a vulnerable geek jobber who couldn't do anything right. And there is room for a compelling story for WWE to tell about this, about John Cena struggling through his final year, about John Cena not being able to win these crucial matches, but that is fundamentally not what WWE is doing. WWE is simply trotting John Cena out there as if he is a trophy, as if he is intellectual property for them to try to push on fans in order for them to spend money on the product. That is it. And that is what WWE views John Cena as. And if you don't believe me, then go back and watch the ending of the Dominic Mysterio and John Cena match. A match that, again, Dominic could have won, but instead, they had to make John Cena look stupid. Because Liv Morgan made her return, jumping into the arms of John Cena, something that had never been alluded to, but hey, why tell stories when you can just make moments, pal? And Liv Morgan then proceeded to bait John Cena, low blow him, align herself with Dominic Mysterio, allowing him to pick up the Intercontinental Championship along with the win, and WWE just pretended like this didn't matter. And we get a shot of Cena just walking off through the crowd, happy-go-lucky as ever, as if he didn't just get screwed out of his title. And the weird thing is, the John Cena character does not seem to care. John Cena himself doesn't seem to care. As was evident throughout everything that I've laid out in this video, WWE and Triple H don't seem to care. So the question that I'm asking myself is, why the hell should I, as a fan who watches, pays money for this product, why should I care? And if you are like me and you are left wondering about this and you don't know whether or not you should care, that's the problem about the entire John Cena final run. It is not meant to be a run that pays homage to one of the greatest of all time, that gives him the respect that he deserves. In fact, you could make the argument that the way the WWE has treated John Cena over the past couple of months, is one of the most disrespectful things that they could have done in John Cena's retirement tour. The worst case scenario literally played out for John Cena and the wrestling fans. And the saddest part about it was the fans this time around, unlike in years past, were ready to embrace, welcome, celebrate, rejoice, and just watch Big Match John do his thing. But unfortunately, WWE and Triple H refused to let that happen, and it is a travesty because both the fans and John Cena deserved much better. But hey, I guess we'll see.